Japan, often seen as a country of impeccable organization and ancient traditions, reveals a veiled dystopia amid everyday events. Recently, reflecting on my experience in Japan, I encountered a revealing episode during the annual carnival in August, held in Tokyo's oldest district, Asakusa. While far from comparing to the extravagant Brazilian carnivals, this event, which returned after the pandemic, featured a modest parade. However, attempting to enjoy the spectacle, I faced crowded sidewalks, prompting me to seek a strategic spot in a nearby commercial building. Ascending some stairs for a privileged view, I found other spectators, including a father with a baby. Everything seemed calm until the intervention of a police officer. The officer approached, informing me that staying there was not allowed. Quickly, I apologized and began to leave, thinking the issue was resolved. However, he persisted in following me, revealing bureaucratic complexity and surprising organizational hierarchy. The incident triggered an uncomfortable situation, highlighting bureaucratic rigidity and hierarchical organization within Japanese institutions, including the police. This seemingly trivial episode sheds light on a dystopia hidden behind the facade of order and tradition in Japan. The apparent tranquility of Japanese streets conceals a subtle dystopia, revealed in everyday situations as I recently experienced. In Japan, where crime rates are low, police have few cases to handle. This results in an exaggerated approach when something occurs, even if it is a trivial issue. This phenomenon is evident in online videos showing Japanese police acting disproportionately to minor infractions. In my own episode during the annual carnival, I was approached for climbing some stairs to get a better view of the parade. Instead of starting a conversation, the police called for reinforcements, creating a disproportionate scenario. An increasing number of officers gathered around me, as if I had committed a serious crime. The situation became uncomfortable, with officers speaking little among themselves and not effectively communicating with me. After a lengthy wait, some officers with more robust and distinctive uniforms finally arrived, indicating they likely came from distant police stations. Although I knew I hadn't committed a serious crime, the uncomfortable atmosphere persisted. Clarity began when a police officer questioned me about the incident. I explained my intention to film the event and apologized, mentioning that others in the building were doing the same. The abrupt response from a police officer highlighted the inflexibility of the situation, despite my belief that I had done nothing wrong. Document verification followed, with the police officer calling immigration to confirm my registration. After confirmation, attention shifted to the reason for my presence in Japan, revealing the underlying bureaucratic complexity. They then asked about my occupation, and upon disclosing that I worked as a designer, I noticed their surprise and curiosity, requesting a specific document I did not possess. Presenting my corporate health insurance card, which I believed to be proof of employment, led to a drastic change in the officer's attitude. The tone of voice and posture transformed, and one of the more understanding guards explained to the others that I was there only to film the event, that I had only climbed a few steps of the stairs, and there was no need for such commotion. In fact, the parade was very crowded, and I needed a better view. The episode ended with laughter from the police, the return of my documents, and my departure. This incident, though small, highlights a veiled dystopia in the country, where even minor infractions can result in a disproportionate and bureaucratic response. However, all of this only happened to me, revealing through my appearance that I am a foreigner. The other Japanese individuals who were steps above me faced no action or requests, unfortunately revealing a still strong prejudice against foreigners. After the episode, I reflect on how similar situations have occurred before with me. The incident, though resolved peacefully after mentioning my work as a designer, underscores the preference that the Japanese system shows for those linked to local companies. This preference is not exclusive to Japan. In many countries, including the United States, the process of obtaining a work visa involves prior hiring by a local company. In this context, corporations wield considerable influence, demonstrating that they have more rights and power than the individual in society. In Japan, the need for foreigners in multinational companies, primarily due to the demand for English proficiency, leads corporations to request specific visas. The influence of these companies on the government is evident when explaining the local shortage of talent and the need for foreign hires to fill specific gaps. This dynamic eases the lives of foreigners within these corporations. Visa issuance and association with a company resolve many challenges, from housing rental to acceptance in Japanese society. However, for those not embedded in this corporate context, bureaucratic barriers and cultural resistance can make life in Japan more challenging. It's as if you become protected by the corporation or company you work for, and the foreigner who doesn't work for any Japanese company or large corporation ends up having no one to turn to in dealing with his prejudice.